this snowy, cold, wonderful weather day. I want to welcome everyone to today's Commission on Disability Issues meeting. And with that, I would like to go through and just do roll call. And if we do have those that tend to pop in a little bit later, hopefully we can just have them acknowledge themselves once they pop in. So I'll go ahead and start the roll call. I am Zach Damon. I'm the chairman of the commission.
I'm Kathleen Mozak-Batz. I am a commissioner.
Tim Hull, commissioner.
Alex Gossage, commissioner.
I'm Elizabeth Nelson. I'm City Council liaison to the Disability Commission.
Okay. I'm Denise Janess, the staff liaison. Debbie, you're going to have to unmute. Let's see if I can help you out.
How's that?
Okay, there you go.
There we go, Deb. Yes, we can hear
I
you.
couldn't get my picture up for some reason. But anyway, I'm Debbie Poster, Commissioner.
That's right. Awesome commissioner and doing a great job. Thank you, Deb.
Thanks.
Matthew Solomon, Commissioner, bad internet connection.
Matthew, great to have you. And dude, I'm loving the hair, man. I gotta grow mine out, man.
Well,
Okay.
Did we get all 11?
Well, there are 9 people here. Well, we have
right,
2.
right.
So,
Okay.
and then Katie's here as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. Super. Just glad that you guys are taking this time. I mean, again, who would have thought that we'd still be, in this position, but here we are and we're pressing forward. So with that, I'd like to move to the second point on the agenda. I'd like to just have you guys review today's agenda. If there is anything that is misspelled or need any corrections for today, please feel free to let us know during the review period, and then we can go through that. We have, quite a bit to cover today, but I think we can get through a good amount of it. And so just take a minute, if you don't mind, to take a look at today's agenda and then let myself and or Denise know any corrections that need to be made at this time.
Well, yeah, the one thing is I noticed that it says crash test data, and that's part of, I think, first of all, it's crash data. It's not crash test data. And also, I think that's part of the HB 4738 recommendations. And I think we have the same thing on last month's agenda.
So I just need to consolidate those and just take out crash data altogether.
Yeah, I mean, the crash is part of, and it's not
just consolidating. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can do that.
wait a minute. Okay.
Well, yeah, Tim, and you're correct in seeing that a lot of it is similar than last month's meeting. And that, unfortunately, as you guys remembered, we did not have a quorum, so we weren't really able to, we were able to discuss, but we weren't really able to, move on anything due to not having quorum. So, so a lot of it was pushed to this meeting to make sure that we can, get some things off the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? All right. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to move to approve the corrected agenda by Mr. Tim Hull, which is the again, correcting some information and consolidating that. So do we have a move to approve the corrected agenda for today?
I'll move it.
All right, thank you, Tim. And then is there a second to approve today's corrected agenda?
I'll second it.
Okay. All right, all in favor of approving today's corrected agenda, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 All right, great. All right, so the corrected agenda for today is approved, and so we'll go ahead and move.
Oh, your screen froze, Zach.
Yes. I'm sorry, I can't do anything about that. Zach?
Hello, everyone.
Okay.
Just thought I would play hide and seek with you guys there for a quick second.
Okay.
But anyway, if there are any corrections or amendments to the November meeting minutes, as I mentioned last, we didn't have a quorum, so we weren't really able to really vote on anything or move on anything in terms of, last month's meeting. But we did have some good discussion about some things in terms of, again, reviewing and then making sure that our recommendations were, again, reviewed today and then agreed upon to be, put forward so that our recommendations.
Excuse me, Larry Keeler is trying to get in. He's an attendee. He needs
Okay.
to be upgraded to a panelist, I guess.
Yes, let's see.
All right. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, I just got a text from him.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Larry, can you hear
Hello,
us?
I'm
folks?
sorry about that, Larry.
Now I'm good.
Okay.
I only tried 7 times.
Good.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, it took me a couple minutes to notice my phone. I was like, oh, it couldn't possibly be as important as Kodai.
I had to I had to hurry up and actually get back out, do the text because my phone's old. Get out, do the text, and then come back in.
Oh, okay, because I said I didn't see you. Okay, all right. Okay, is that everyone? Okay.
I think so. So Larry, thank you so much. And I do apologize for the hiccup there, but I hope you're doing all right.
Oh, no, I'm here.
Yeah, we were just going over if anybody had any corrections or amendments to November's meeting minutes. I was just speaking about the fact that, because we didn't have a quorum, we were able to talk about some things and what we were looking to do for today's meeting, but we really weren't able to vote on anything due to not having a quorum and whatnot. So everyone was just taking a minute to review the meeting minutes from November, and then we were just going to vote to approve those. So I'm going to give everyone just like 1 minute or so to review those. If you guys do have questions or amendments or corrections or anything like that, please feel free to mention them during this time. All right. Now, do we have any corrections or amendments for the November meeting minutes, or is there a motion to approve the new November meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion.
All right, Kathleen, you'll motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Larry, thank you. So all in favor of approving the November meeting minutes, please, if you can, just have your mic on and say aye.
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 All right, great. So the November meeting minutes have been approved, so we can move forward. Now we move to the fun part of the meeting, which is the presentations, and always a great presenter and a great, wonderful presentation. We have Katie Monkevich of the Washtenaw Library for the Blind and Physically Disabled. So welcome, Katie.
Hi, everybody.
Afternoon.
Hey.
All right, thanks for having me. Good to be here. Good to see all of you. I have a couple of updates for you since the last meeting. All of the Ann Arbor District Library locations are currently open for contactless pickup by appointment. The Michigan E-Library Mel book service and our newly developed shelf service systems are currently suspended. We do expect to resume those services in January. So that's just temporary while we sort of recover from our latest closure and get caught up. There are new outside lockers that are available for picking up items at Traverwood and at Westgate. This service remains in place at Mallet Creek and Pittsfield as well. You can submit something for posting on our branch bulletin boards, which are viewable from the outside of the branches at bulletinboards@aadl.org. You can book a Zoom meeting room for up to 2 hours and 1,000 attendees by emailing bookazoom@aadl.org. We have our printing services available. There's forms to fill out for printing on aadl.org, or you can give us a call and we can complete that form for you. If you have an essential task that requires you to go online, but you don't have a computer or a way to access the internet, we may be able to help with that. Call us at 734-327-4200 to get started. Got some programs happening. We, as always, encourage you to check out aadl.tv on YouTube for board meetings, story times, crafts, book recommendations, trivia, and more. We continue to host our Black Lives Matter discussion series with an event coming up next week. It's a film discussion for Rael Peck's 2016 film, I Am Not Your Negro. That's Monday, December 21st from 4 to 5 p.m. And I've got some exciting news. We're preparing for AADL's first ever winter game. It's similar, but not identical to the traditional summer game and this spring's bummer game. The winter game will provide daily opportunities for participants to read, watch, listen, do, and solve all sorts of things that our staff has curated. Got some materials to talk about. WLBBD patrons can order digital cartridges by calling 734-327-4224 and leaving a message, or emailing wlbpd@aadl.org. It's still a really great time to sign up for the Braille and audio reading download service, BARD. WLBPD patrons can sign up at nlsbard.loc.gov or call us and we can assist with the application. Some titles just recently added to BARD are Such a Pretty Girl, a story of struggle, empowerment, and disability pride by Nadina Laspina. The author recounts her journey with disability after contracting polio as a baby. She describes the parallels between her own personal growth and the disability rights movement and reflects on finding her place in an ableist world. Stakes is High, Life After the American Dream by Michael Denzel Smith. A collection of essays examining the shortcomings and contradictions inherent in discourse about American society and identity. Topics include racism, toxic masculinity, capitalism, the justice system, politics, and more. And the 2021 Washtenaw Read has been selected. It's a teen fiction book, which is new and unusual and exciting. It's called All American Boys by Jason Reynolds and Brendan Keeley. When 16-year-old Rashad is mistakenly accused of stealing, classmate Quinn witnesses his brutal beating at the hands of a police officer who happens to be the older brother of his best friend, told through Rashad and Quinn's alternating viewpoints. All right, that's all I have for you. Does anybody have any questions for me today?
Really awesome. I just wanted to know and just make it open for the viewers. So is that Winter Games, is that free?
Yes,
Okay.
it's free. It's going to be online focused, so you'll need to be able to access our website, but it's not just for people in Ann Arbor too. Anybody can play the winter game.
And then is there a limit to how many of those people can like log in at one time?
Nope, no limit.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for Katie? Kathleen?
I do. If you could repeat the information with regards to the bulletin board, and I'd like to, and so then, like I belong to a choir that is a not-for-profit, they would send then a PDF or whatever?
Perfect, yes.
Okay.
So that is bulletin boards. It's plural, so BOARDS at aadl.org.
Wonderful, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
All right. Well, thank you, Katie, so much again for you and everything that the Ann Arbor District Library does for the city. You guys do a wonderful job. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon.
All right, thanks a lot, Zach. You too. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Wonderful. Next, we have Alex, the Executive Director of the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living and fellow Commissioner. Take it away, Alex.
Thanks, Zach. Hi, everybody. I just have a quick update today. Historically, the Ann Arbor CIL closes down towards the end of the year for a little while to give everybody a chance to have some time away and get refreshed. And we're doing that again this year, as we have been. So the CIL will be closed from the 23rd through the 4th, and then returning back into the office on January 5th. So right now, I really don't have many updates. Folks can definitely go onto our website at www.annarborcil.org to look at our January events. I will say one thing that we will be talking about a lot for the next few months is that we are going to be one of the participant organizations in the Big House 5K this year. So that'll be a great opportunity, not only just to get the word out in general about the CIL, but hopefully also work on getting a lot of folks with disabilities involved in the virtual 5K. So more to come next month, but that's what I've got for today.
Awesome, man, and definitely a great event too. The virtual 5K and everything that they're doing. So thank you, Alex, for all that you and the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living staff have done to continue to make sure that the community is engaged and that good resources are out there for those that have disabilities and not. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, and for more, could you give Alex, for more, if people want to find out more about the center and how to get in touch with you, do you mind just listing your contact info?
Oh, sure. So again, our website is www.annarborcil.org. If folks would like to reach me directly, the best thing to do is to email me at alex@aacil.org. If they have general questions, though, that can go to our info email, which is info@aacil.org.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. All right. Next, we have public comment, but I just have a hunch, you guys, that the public, isn't going to be saying much today due to the fact that it's so cold and snowy out. So I don't believe that we have any public joining us today. Is that correct, Denise?
Yes, you're correct. There's no public comment.
All right. So I'd like to move forward now on to old business. Underneath, we do have the city personnel report with Denise.
Good afternoon. Okay. We have some welcoming staff to Ann Arbor City Hall. That would be Jessica Hancock in the 15th District Court Clerk. We have Jeffrey Malone, Building and Rental Service Development Service Inspector. We also have Jeffrey McDowell, Police Senior Data Architect. And we have Adam Smith, Wastewater Treatment Service, Water Utility Maintenance Supervisor, and Clifford Tracy, Public Works Technician. We also have retirement and saying farewell to Susan Smith, Police Administrative Assistant, William Gamble, Fire Lieutenant, and Craig Seidlinger, Fire Ballistics Chief and Trainer. And that's it for personnel.
My goodness, quite some new people coming in to work with you and the city government and all that.
Yeah.
So good luck to you guys with all the new staff.
Yeah, look forward to it. Thank you.
All right, wonderful. All right, so moving on. All right, next we have the chair report. So let me bring up my report here. So the first thing I'd like to cover, you guys, is I was very excited. I know that we've talked before about having the city ADA coordinator be a prominent presence on the commission and having them be, available during meetings so that we have clear communication with them. And I am very, very excited to announce that I met with the Assistant City Attorney, John Fournier. I had an opportunity to speak with him about him and Jackie presenting to us on a very routine basis. And they did say that they will basically make sure that they report to us when they get some complaints, and then when, and then report to us as far as what's being done for that particular complaint so that we know what's being done and sort of what they're doing to go about that. So as far as the process, I believe it says that Jackie will send the ADA complaint to whatever department sort of handles that within the city. But then after the issue is resolved, the complaint will be then sent to Denise, and she will be able to schedule Jackie to review the complaint before the commission so that we're aware of kind of what complaint, what complaints are coming in, and then sort of how that was handled in terms of departmental work and different things like that. I did suggest at that particular meeting with John to include the commission as part of the investigative party. So, after the city attorney's office, if need be. So to basically include the commission as a resource to sort of be open to the community. And so as complaints come in, they're sort of, completed and then reported to us in terms of, what's been done and sort of the due process and things like that. And, John was very encouraging. He said, Zach, that's right on. We need to report to you. We should have a presence for you. And so, as Denise and myself are made aware of these ADA complaints and them being investigated and handled, each time there is one, they will present. So I'm excited to relay that. As far as other things on the chair report, so we did unfortunately get a resignation from the commission earlier this month. Kristen Harrison, or Commissioner Harrison, unfortunately just needed to step down from the commission, which was unfortunate. I'd like to point out that we were very grateful for Commissioner Harrison's service. I think she did a great job and always did so with positive attitude. And then whenever I had seen her, she always had a great smile. and was ready to help. So we're sorry to lose her, but understand, and that just leaves now, another open seat for the commission, and kind of recruiting and voting on other commissioners going forward that can fill some seats. So we do have that. Next, for the chair report, I would like to report that we do need to review our 2021 meeting calendar, folks. I know that was sent out to us, right, Denise? That was sent out to us, I think, this week. So I'd like us to review that. And then if anyone has any conflicts, Denise, is it all right if they email you about some conflicts that they have? I did review the calendar, folks, before the meeting. I didn't necessarily see any on my calendar for the coming year. But if you guys have any, please feel free to let Denise know, so that if you're not able to make the meetings, or if you have some questions about the 2021 meeting calendar, please let us know. But that has been mailed out. The other point that I would like to bring up in the chair report is we have a awesome presenter that we are going to have present at our January meeting. So the Housing Commission, Jennifer Hall from Housing, would like to present to the commission, talking about not just affordable housing, but accessible housing, and sort of what the city is kind of looking to do in that regard. And
awesome.
Go ahead, Deb.
I think that's awesome that she's coming.
Yeah, I'm very excited to welcome Jennifer, to be able to talk to her folks about some questions that we as a commission have in terms of development, or in terms of accessibility, affordability. I'm curious, maybe I just want you guys to understand that she is here to not only present on what they're doing with housing within the community, but she's also going to be there in January for questions for us. So I know Denise has been great, and her and I did talk about that, and she presented an email to us as a commission to sort of maybe brainstorm and think about some questions that we could ask Ms. Hall, in terms of some good, forefront of thought questions that she could answer, right? Being at the meeting, that we could have her answer, so that others in the community could also know those answers as well. So, if you guys have any questions that we can ask her, or if you come up with any, please let us know by emailing my, Denise, and she can make sure to, have those, on the docket for Ms. Hall. Now, if you guys don't have any right now, that is okay. I mean, I'm hoping that when she presents in January, we can also ask questions, after the presentation as well. But I encourage you guys, for this particular presentation, to really not hold anything back. Don't feel like, gee, what I'm about to ask is very dumb, or, I don't want to hold things up. No, this is the time to do it, guys, because if we have questions about housing, specifically for, accessibility or people with disabilities, this is the time, I think, to present that. So, all right. All right, that is all I have so far for the chair report. I will be probably presenting further down in the agenda, but does anybody have any questions or comments, or we can move forward? All right, go ahead and move forward. Hold on one second. My computer just froze here. Okay. All right. So now, moving forward, next we have the HB 4738 Crosswalk Law. Now, the great thing about this, guys, is we do have the recommendation drafted, and of course, Tim, you've done a great job. I think the commission, hopefully all of us have had an opportunity to review this, but I would like to take a couple of minutes to know if anyone has any last discussion on this. But then once we just have a couple of minutes to review it, I would like to vote on this so that we can get this recommendation to the appropriate committee that was looking for a recommendation. So at this time, does anyone have any pressing, I would say, amendments or pressing comments about our recommendation for HB 4738? Or can we go ahead and vote on the Commission on Disability Issues recommendation and get this recommended to the appropriate party?
I just want to say that I thought it was very well written, that it was evident that a lot of thought and care and concern went into what was written, and I support it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I will say that this is taken from what the Transportation Commission written. I did add some things and updated it and everything and gave them credit for but yeah, I just wanted to say that because, and we actually came up with this, we started looking at this a few months ago, and yeah, just
sure.
I figured, I mean, we could reword everything, but I figured just give them credit and just.
Yeah. Well, and I want to thank you. And Kathleen, I want to piggyback off of what you said because I looked over it as well. I thought it was very well written, very well done. And I want to thank Commissioner Tim Hall for the work that you put in drafting this. Thank you so much. And, I think it was definitely a job well done.
Well, actually, I think you sent me the original version of this, and this was actually based off the Transportation Commission one.
Right. So yeah, I mean, well, we all work together, my friend. Absolutely. Yep. So with that, folks, I would like to basically, I'd like to vote on this so that we can all be in agreement and vote to be able to recommend the Commission on Disability Issues recommendation on HB 4738, the Crosswalk Law, and get that recommendation to the appropriate party that was looking for a recommendation. But before we do so, I just want to make sure now, Denise or Councilwoman Nelson, is it okay if we have, I just want to know the appropriate method in getting this recommendation to the appropriate party. Is it okay, Tim? Can we have you just present the recommendation, or do we have to go through Denise or through council to do that? I just want to make sure that I use the proper channels.
Well, I think it just gets sent to City Council, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what happens. Actually, Denise might know the actual logistics of it, but we regularly receive reports that are, they're part of our agenda, and they aren't actually a verbal presentation, but they're just added to the agenda, and sometimes they're discussed, or they're just understood to be, this is coming from CODI. And actually, I could speak to it at the table, even if it's not a specific item on the agenda. I could certainly report that, added to our agenda is this report from the Commission on Disabilities Issues that they voted to approve this. So I could do that.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. I really appreciate that, Elizabeth. Thank you very much. So that's great. But what I'd like to do before that happens, I just want to make sure that we get an official, vote that this is, what we'd like to do, that everyone is on the same page for this. So as far as the draft for the HB 4738 recommendation on the crosswalk law from the Commission on Disability Issues, is there a motion to approve the recommendation?
I'll move it.
All right. Is there
Yes.
a second?
Yes.
Okay.
I second it.
All right. Deborah seconds. All right. All in favor of approving the Commission on Disability Issues recommendation for the HB 4738 crosswalk law, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you, Elizabeth. And hopefully that can be reported to City Council. And you know what, guys, I feel so excited that we were able to get this recommendation in. So thank you very much. All right. Next is our other ordinance that we were looking for recommendation, which is the gardening ordinance. And of course, that was reviewed as well. And then there was also a recommendation. And I did look at this briefly, and I thought that this was adequate. But I didn't know if any other commissioners had any questions or if there was any rewrite that should be done to this particular ordinance. I want to thank Commissioner Solomon for looking into this as well, and for the commissioner's work on this. But I wanted to know, does anybody have any questions about this particular recommendation, or can we also are we also able to vote on this as well?
I don't know that I actually saw a recommendation. All I saw was like the original resolution that was attached to this.
Oh, okay. Let's see what's the one I have. Oh, you know what? You're right. I was looking at a different file. I'm sorry. So do we have? Let's see.
Hold on.
Matthew, I'm sorry, Matthew. That was actually your report. I apologize. I talked over you. Do we have a draft of the gardening recommendation or no?
We do not. I have been remiss, and I.
Okay. So no problem. No problem then, folks. So, what I'd like to do, Matthew, is it okay if do you need some assistance with kind of reviewing that and what they're looking for in terms of a recommendation from the Commission on Disability Issues, or are you okay with reviewing it and then sending Denise and I a draft, and so that we can send that out to the commission and review it for the January meeting?
Yeah, in all candor, it slipped through my to-do list, and I will work on it for the next meeting.
Okay, awesome. And feel
I'm
free.
having a really hard time hearing all of you over the dog.
I don't know whose dog it is, but
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Who's ever that?
Oh,
is,
hold on. It
really
might be
muted.
mine. I thought I muted when he barked. Hold on.
Thank
it's,
you.
mine was, but now it isn't. So I'm hoping
Okay.
it'll stop.
Sure.
Mine's watching the meeting, so.
All right. Well, thank you to Commissioner Solomon. So he will be working on that. So hopefully by January, we can also have a recommendation for that gardening and for the environmental commission. So thank you, Matthew, for that.
Thank me when it's done, but in the meantime, can Denise or Zach kind of resend me the relevant documents? I tend to, they fall through my inbox and then it's very hard to locate them again. So.
Oh, sure, that's no problem.
Thank you,
I'll send them
Denise.
to you tomorrow.
Much appreciated.
No problem.
again,
we call
I
it lost in the shuffle. I've been.
I apologize. I know that I was supposed to do that. It was on my to-do list. I will do it for next meeting.
Awesome. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it. And thank you, Denise.
Sure, no problem.
All right. Awesome. So moving forward, we have the wonderful Rachel Hawkins. Welcome, Rachel, with community engagement and also the Ann Arbor Inclusive Report.
Hello. So I wanted to update you on Ann Arbor Inclusive. So in November, they had done an episode on therapeutic writing, and that's officially on YouTube on the CTN Ann Arbor channel. So that is up if you want to see it. I know that they just did a recording 2 days ago with Leslie Nature and Science Center. And I don't have a date for when that will be out, but that should be out soon. I think that's mostly it. I still need to reach out a little bit more about the captions and stuff, the translation. So I'll have to follow up on that. So that kind of slipped for me. So I apologize.
Hey, no problem. And, therapeutic writing, what a great organization. believe it or not, you guys, I rode with them for a number of years when I was younger. So great organization. And yeah, we wish therapeutic riding incorporated, all the best. I know that they were in the midst of building a brand new center and different things. So really, really cool. And yeah, if you guys can take a watch. Awesome stuff. Thank you,
Wonderful.
Rachel.
That's all I have today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much. Awesome. Next, we have Partners in Access Committee with Mr. Larry Keeler.
Am I unmuted now?
You are.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello. All right. Well, I had to hurry up and mute because my dog was the ones that were both of them. We met earlier this month, and we formed an agenda. And for the rest of this report, I will pass you to Mr. Commissioner Gossett, who is now chairing and has our agenda yet.
Thanks, Larry. So Larry and I did meet last Wednesday. After talking with Larry, and we know he's been chairing two committees for a little while here. He really wants to make sure that he stays involved with the Partners in Access folks, but really what he likes to be involved with is the recruiting piece. So we talked a little bit about some of the different ideas that we had for projects, collaborators. One main thing I think that we discussed is that the possibility of, in the future, obviously having an open house or something of some sort, but at the very least, if there are mechanisms through the city where we can start gathering data on what's important to folks in the community, I think that would be a really helpful piece instead of just waiting for all the issues, the problems, the access to things to come along.
That's good.
In addition to that, some of the topics that we talked about that were more specific, we did briefly discuss the strange occurrence with the intersection on Stadium that has curb cuts with no official side or crosswalk. But more importantly, I think as far as intersections goes, we did have a conversation on the audible pedestrian signals and looking at ways in which we can help the city and help folks in the community get word to the city that those are very important, that there's a number of intersections that would benefit from those. And I think the other major issue or topic that we discussed was both of us reconnecting with Snow Buddies to see kind of where they are with things and if there are ways that we can work with them to expand their services through the community. Because I know that's a great program, and I think it would have a lot of benefits for folks with disabilities, not only because of the access piece, but also because of just community interaction. Isolation is a huge issue, and this is one that could help that, I think. Hi, Elizabeth. Sorry, Elizabeth. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just like excited by all the things that you're talking about, and I'm really eager to jump in just because I'm trying to think, like everything you said was just like, I so hope we can move forward with that. So the city has a system now that I've been wanting to promote more broadly. It's online, so there's an accessibility issue in terms of people who don't have access to online things. But if this commission wanted to canvass for information, that is something that we could leverage. I think it's called like A2 Open City Hall. And there are a whole bunch of people across the city who are already registered in it. And so it would be something that we could get information about. The audible crosswalk question, that is an interesting one, because I think that in the last year, there was a crosswalk that somebody requested there be audible signals around, and I was part of an email chain among city staff. And I asked the question, what is the typical process? Because I think the Center for Independent Living, actually, you advocated for an audible crosswalk, and I was asking, is there a different system where simply a resident, if I lived on a street corner and I needed one, could I simply request it? And that process, I think, is very fuzzy. And so that actually might be an interesting project for this commission to work on. I feel strongly about the city having more formalized processes, because sometimes it just is sort of the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and that's not the best method for addressing problems, because at any rate, like I'm just all about figuring out a better process for us to identify the problem and actually have a solution addressing it. I'm trying to think what else you mentioned. I guess those were the two things that I wanted to mention, that if this commission wants to seriously look at how to gather data or survey the city, there are tools that the city has, and I would love to help assist in anything that this commission wanted support for.
That would be fantastic.
Councilwoman Nelson.
I'm thrilled that the city
I don't have a
has something
hand to
in place.
raise, so.
Oh, yeah, one second, Larry. I'll call on you in just 1 second.
Okay, go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, Alex was responding.
No,
So
I was just
I'll
saying,
call
I'm
on
thrilled
you in 1 second.
I saw.
Yep.
I'm thrilled that the city has a tool in place that we could use. That was something that neither of us were really sure about, if the city had that capacity to gather information from folks. And then the audible pedestrian piece, the CIL did submit some letters, but they were also
We'll see you guys
on behalf
tomorrow.
of community members. And so there were folks who were all Ann Arbor City residents who were requesting those formally. And I think that's part of one of those fuzzy areas that we do need to figure out process-wise. So would love to continue working on that piece. And with that, I will say, Larry and I are talking about meeting monthly. I just think anything more less than that is too long to wait. So we're going to start meeting on the second Wednesdays at 5, I believe. We would love to have a couple other members join the committee. There's 2 of us right now, so anybody else interested in joining would be great.
Where are you going to be meeting?
Just Zoom.
Same place, same as we do here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
just
cool.
Zoom.
Yeah,
So
I would like to be a
You were
part of
invited
that.
last month.
I was, and I didn't even know it. So I'm sorry.
That's no
Oh, just
problem.
one quick thing. I remembered the other thing when I was on a string of emails about these audible crosswalk signals. I did ask our city staff, do we have a default position that our preference should be, or like the ideal should be, that every crosswalk has an audible signal? And this response I got back from the city was that there are some places where residents would actually complain about them and say, like, it's too noisy, which that was somewhat disappointing. Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, that's the only other tidbit that I had to share. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that that was the case, but that's too bad. But just in response to all of you, in terms of the gathering of information, I think that's very important, in my opinion, to us as a commission. And I would strongly like to recommend that the commission reach out to Councilwoman Nelson so that she can be able to inquire about that. I think that information is important. And as far as due process goes, it's just my personal opinion. I think that you want to have a fair process in terms of, people bringing things to the table and having an equal opportunity to be heard with the different things that are being presented. So, I don't want to speak for the entire commission on this, Councilwoman Nelson, but, I'm definitely in favor of that. I hope that, this is something that the commission is willing to take advantage of. Are all of you on board with that?
Yes.
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 So, okay, so based on that, Councilwoman Nelson, can you then, I guess, inquire into, how we can have access to that information? And I'm not really sure, how that would be presented, I guess. Would it be something that you would present to us, or would it just be emailed to us and then we would review it? How would that work?
So here's what I'm thinking. I know that A2 Open City Hall is a tool that the city can use to just throw a question out to the community. And so I'm thinking that the way the process, I apologize for the noise in my house. I have workmen here. If this commission had an idea about specific questions that you would like asked and information that you would like to get, I'll find out. Like, I don't think there's a real formal process. It may be that I can just, the CODI can just request that these 3 or 4 questions be put on A2 Open City Hall. It may be as simple as that, like that may be all it is. And then once we have the information, then whatever we want to do with it, I certainly I could bring it to council. I mean, the audible signals thing is an interesting topic for us to discuss, because I'll have to dig through my old email and find that response that I got, because that might be an issue that we want to take a stance on. Like, CODI could just say, you know, these are the categories of roads that absolutely should have audible signals, like just full stop. Or every crosswalk, our goal, the ideal should be that every crosswalk have an audible signal, because I did not get that message from city staff when I inquired about it. I wondered. I thought, like, surely that would be the standard. And like the feedback I got was like, well, some people think it's annoying. So yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of conversations that we can have, and like the commission can make a recommendation, and I can bring it to council, and we can, you know, move forward with whatever this commission thinks is important.
How do you guys feel about making that an agenda item moving forward into January and also 2021? Is that something the commission is interested, as Councilwoman Nelson spoke of, in working on this and making sure that these crosswalks kind of have an audible option so that they can be accessible to everyone? I mean, yes, you know, I think that there are certain residents that there will be some pushback there, but in terms of us drafting a recommendation on, you know, being in favor of that, you know, how does the commission feel about adding that to the agenda as something that we can discuss and continue to work on?
I think it's a great idea to put it on the agenda. I'm concerned about the push. I mean, what the problem is with the people that are having a problem with it, because it's only momentarily a situation usually. I don't know
even how real that statement was. Like I said, I should dig through my email and share it with the commission, because it may have been just a way of telling me, well, obviously the city's not going to make all the signals audible. And maybe there isn't actually a pushback. Maybe it was just an excuse. I don't really know. I've never heard anybody complain about an audible crosswalk signal. I've never heard that complaint from anyone.
And it's very limited. I've used them before, and they are only for the person that's there. You can't hear them across the world. I mean, it's not something that's that loud. So I can't.
Suppose if you live right next to it.
I can't imagine it being a problem unless you're out of your house or something. All right.
So Elizabeth, if we add this to the agenda to sort of draft a recommendation, this would just then, you know, like the other ones that we've voted on today, this would just go directly back to you to present to city council?
Yeah, you know what? Between now and the next meeting, I will reach out to staff and find out what the process for A2 Open City Hall is. I can do that. And then if it's on the agenda for the next meeting, if we want city council to pass a resolution that, like, our goal for every crosswalk is be audible signals or something like that, anything like that, I could bring a resolution that says, like, you know, we want to agree, or actually that might go, and if I brought it to council, it might end up going to transportation or something. But yeah.
Mr. Zach.
Yes,
Chairman Zach. I was trying to get in, and the 2 things I had is, one, Councilwoman Nelson, would you like to be notified of when we do our Partners in Access, in case you would like to tune in on some of them?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, if you shoot me an email and remind me. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and second of all, my recommendation would be that if you're going to look into it, instead of taking up as a that's one of the things we can work in as in the Partners in Access Committee. We can work on that and work on a draft of it, and then present it to the commission that way.
That sounds good.
So, you know, we work on it in committee and bring it to the commission, like we've done before.
Right.
On other things.
I like that, guys. Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Great. Well, guys, I don't mean to cut it short, but I want to keep us moving on the agenda because we have some other things. But I think we covered some great things in partners and access. So thank you. But next, Larry, we have recruiting activities. So uh, can you give us a quick report on that?
Yeah, well, it's going to be short and sweet. Didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I think partly because of the I haven't seen anything yet, anything come through. And have you seen anything, Councilwoman Nelson?
No, I think because
your attention?
it screwed up when the last time I tried to send Zach the names. I think I looked again and I didn't see anybody new.
Mhm.
That's something that I can look into. I actually have to leave because I have a meeting at 5 with the legal stuff with the city. So I will see you guys
Okay.
next time. You can catch me up if I missed
Okay.
anything big. Thank you.
Okay. Yep.
And so I haven't done anything, and I think part of it is because of the Councilwoman Nelson said, she hasn't sent me anything that she's seen, and I haven't seen any possible applications come up. And of course, because of the restrictions upon with the COVID and whatnot, I haven't been able to talk to anybody. I've occasionally gotten people by just sitting and talking to them on, like a ride or something.
Right.
But I haven't got that. I'm hoping that as soon as things let up, we get a lot of people. I can get in a lot of contact with people again.
Right. No, understood. Okay, no problem.
So not being lazy, just
sure.
Not having any exposure.
Right. Well, and I mean, still with COVID and everything, and it still is a challenge. So I completely understand. And of course, with the resignation of Commissioner Harrison, that does leave another seat open. So I think by the January meeting, hopefully, I can get an updated number. I know you've sent that to me already, Denise, but I'll just report on that with the chair report, just sort of, what our numbers are currently and then what the current open seats are, just so we're all on the same page going into 2021.
Okay.
Great. All right.
Yeah,
Larry.
I'll need that number for sure because I want to fill the seats if I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there you go.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, moving forward, we now have the Transportation Commission update from Mr. Tim Hall.
Well, last week they talked mostly about the comprehensive transportation plan, which has been worked on like the city for I think at least a year or so, and they're had a draft of it for us, and then it's going to other surrounding communities, and then to the planning commission to be approved. And this week we have a presentation on the Lower Town area mobility study, and the 7th Street Committee. They're working on a traffic calming process for more arterial streets as opposed to neighborhood streets, but ones that are residential in nature, essentially, which is what the state is on 7th Street. And then there's a traffic calming project on Glenwood, and a report on how the Healthy Streets program did, and starting to put together our 2021 work plan. But yeah, that meeting is 7 o'clock tonight.
Got it. Well, thank you, for all your work with the Transportation Commission meeting. And do you know by chance, I just wasn't sure, and I wanted to know just for maybe other viewers, are the buses, have they changed their hours still, or are they still at limited capacity?
Well, they're still limited. They increased them. They came up with a new service plan in August, and they added, I think, a route or two or something in November, just serving some parts of the west side of Ann Arbor that weren't being served. And
I have some information too. They have Flex Ride.
Yeah, that too. That exists in some of the areas that aren't being serviced by fixed routes currently.
And sort of what precautions are being taken, do we know, in terms of bus or vehicles? Do they have plexiglass and all that, or everybody just wears masks?
Yeah. They actually have plexiglass. I was on the Wave bus. They have a plexiglass. They use masks. they're pretty strict. Make sure you have a mask on when you enter, and you have to have exact change. Also, the routes have been changed, as you know, and some of them have been eliminated, but hopefully it'll come back. That's what I have. Sorry about that, Tim. I just had to put my 2 bits in there because I've been experiencing the transportation issue.
I can add a couple more bits to that. I serve on the transportation, on the AATA board. So currently, all the fixed route buses do have shields that are that separate the driver, and these are now permanent. So even after the threat of the pandemic is over, the shields will be in place to help protect the driver and the public as well. The buses are being cleaned as when they come into their transportation centers. There's teams of people that go out and wipe all the buses down. So they're being cleaned several times a day. They're being thoroughly cleaned at night. They're using industrial grade sanitizers at night to sweep the buses and things like that. Also, paratransit was brought back in-house, so it's being serviced by the current MCO drivers of AATA, and all the same precautions that are being used with the fixed route buses are also being used with the paratransit buses. They're in talk right now. One of the things, and it's not a secret, it's on the website, it's in the board packets. They are looking at hopefully trying to restore services. The target date right now is August 2021 to fully restore services, because we're hopeful that that means schools are back in place and all of that. Public is greatly encouraged to continue to talk to the RIDE at theride.org, or to let them know how they're feeling, both complimentary and non-complimentary, because that's how they find out their information. Where is the need greatest? I do know that St. Joe's route now runs on the weekends, where they didn't before. So the number 3 runs through St. Joe's on Sundays, which didn't happen before. They also have what Deborah had mentioned, Flex Ride, which was only Monday through Friday, but now Flex Ride is available on the weekends. So I know that they're striving to try to get as many services back up online in areas that need it. But it's the ridership is, I think, 17% of what it was pre-pandemic. So we didn't see any, when they did that push in August to increase services, we did not see an increase in ridership. So that's been challenging and difficult.
Right, absolutely. Wow, thank you for that, Kathleen. I appreciate it. And again, thank you, Tim and Deb, for your input on that as well. Anything else, Transportation Commission, at this time?
No.
All right. Well, moving forward, actually, it's Kathleen and the report for the Council for Disability Concerns meeting update.
Wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and just do November and December all at once. Both meetings were pretty short. In November, we had a presentation by the Student Idea Board. We also had a technology presentation. The thing most of note in November's meeting was, I think I've discussed this with you before, where they're looking at proposing an advisory group. There are over 300 members to the Council for Disability Concerns at U of M. And sometimes when business needs to be done, rallying 300 members is difficult. So they're trying to make a core group of people. The advisory group structure would be about, what they're looking at is 10 seats. 7 seats would be assigned. So in other words, somebody from the graduate employment organization, somebody from disability culture, somebody from ability medicine, somebody hopefully from the CIL, that kind of thing. And then 3 seats would be general membership. And so that proposal was discussed and they're ready to move forward on that. December came along and it was reflection time. And so what we did was we asked all the members in attendance, we filled out a sheet about what our reflections on 2020, both positive and negative. And what I want to share with our group is I found it fascinating that there were more positive comments about 2020 and disability culture than there were negative comments. And what I mean by that is that I don't know about you, but for myself, I have been able to attend more conferences, more seminars, more, because they've been online, they've been accessible. I haven't had to travel. I haven't had, you know what I'm saying? And so that also, while it was a positive, is also a negative, because those are things that we were asking for pre-pandemic. Those were accommodations that many of us needed, requested, were hopeful for, and we just couldn't seem to get them. And then the pandemic came. Granted, it was a scramble, but it was made possible. So our hope is that as the pandemic eases up, as things start to return to normal, that the systems that were put in place for everyone we've seen are possible, we can then continue them so that accessibility is still at the forefront, that people who will not be able to do everything in person will still be able to meet online or whatever. So it was, it's been fascinating. And I hope that 2021 brings about a lot more positive change. And I know that we have identified that is very important for us to continue to lead the way in disability culture and use our voices to continue to make things more accessible for everyone, all disabilities, all people. So that's my report.
Well, and a great report that is. I mean, wonderful stuff that, you know, you're doing, Kathleen, and the whole council on disability concerns at U of M, and great points that you've made. I mean, let's face it, you know, I think from my own experience, you know, I've had the exact same thing. I've actually been in some ways busier now than before. And that is because, again, the logistics are eliminated in terms of, you know, physical logistics and different things. So it's made things more accessible to attend. And, you know, that's been great in a way, because you're able to get more done. But again, I agree with you. Moving forward, you know, how does that continue? And how do these particular resources continue to be useful and sort of, again, on the minds of people as we continue to move into 2021 and 2022? So I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Excuse me, Zach, Larry Keeler has his hand up.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't have my hand up. I just unmuted myself.
Oh, a little hand here, so okay. I didn't want to miss you.
Okay. Did you have a point of information, Larry?
What?
Did you have anything you wanted to add, or no?
Oh no. Well, the only thing, I mean, it's not a point for debate or anything, but the only thing I'm wondering is if we get, I'm sort of looking forward to next year so we can actually have these meetings in person. I'm finding that I'm one of these old school guys that I like to do my business in person. But yeah, I do agree that we should have the capability for those who can't be there to be there too. So.
Absolutely. And, you know, and in some respects, I can really understand where you're coming from. So thank you, Larry. All right. Moving forward, I'd like to see if there are any announcements at this time. Okay, if there are no announcements, then we can move forward to new business. And under new business, we have, again, just that, meeting in person or in Zoom in January. And it looks as if we're going to be meeting through Zoom in January. Now, you know, has there been any developments within the city? You know, are meetings still being conducted digitally, or are people meeting in person? You know, kind of what's the status?
No, well, people are, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think they're all meeting virtually.
Right.
My only question is if there's a change, because I know that some part of it, I think there are provisions for it to continue beyond, but there may be conditions that have to be met with, like the law, that it did extend the ability to have virtual meetings through the end of the year, but then there was some other cases in which they could continue after that. And I'm not sure as to what the situation is there, and if the city is.
Okay.
Yes, as far as
So-
I know, that January's meeting will be via Zoom. But if there are any documentations, I look for those and send them to you for 2021. It's at least for the first quarter.
Wonderful, thank you. And hopefully, of course, if anything does change, and for some odd reason, between now and January, if something happens and people end up meeting in person, it's really up to the commission, I think, as to what's safe. But as of right now, yeah, we're going to continue to meet digitally. Larry, I know it's different, and I know that it's an adjustment from you being.
Oh, no.
Cool guy and wanting to meet in person, but at the same time, we've got to keep in mind the safety of all of us.
No, I get it.
City residents. Yeah,
I get it.
No, absolutely. All right.
Another thing we might want to ask about before, because it sounds like we're going to end pretty soon. Or did we decide to table the resolve the vice chairmanship, or to table it?
I decided to table that for now, just because, I don't want it to be something that, anyone feels, I guess, forced into or anything like that. And, as of right now, I know that everybody is busy. So, I kind of made a decision right now, Larry, to table it. I know that you and Alex, were interested, but that was only if others weren't running. But I'm curious to know, like, once we get some other commissioners on too, if you're still interested, awesome. But, I just wanted it to be something where, like, no one felt, I don't know, like, pressured to do it because, quote, no one else wanted to fill the seat, if you will. And quite honestly, I mean, I haven't had a vice chair in quite some time. So, I'm perfectly fine with continuing to be chairman right now, without a vice chair. But when we do select one, it will be nice to have one. But, I'm definitely not in a huge rush, but I just want to make sure that whomever it doesn't feel sort of forced into it. I want this to be something where, they kind of feel to want to do it. And, it's something that they really want to be active in. Does that make sense?
Well, I'll make a little proposition to the commission then, because Alex and I were talking, and I figured Alex and I were talking. Is this correct, Alex? And Alex says, if I want it, go for it, because, but that's got to be voted on. But my thing is, if for some reason you can't run the meeting and you need somebody to do it, I'll volunteer. I'll do that if you can't do it if I'm not elected as vice chair, if we don't have one, I'll run the meeting if you can't make it.
Okay. Got it.
Because my concern really, my concern was I don't mind the position if we get it, but if like let's say you can't come in next month,
right?
You can't be there,
right?
And you need somebody to run it, I'll do it.
Right. Exactly.
I just want to remind us that we need to be mindful of our bylaws, and our bylaws say that one person cannot hold more than one office. And if we consider our committee chairs as offices along with the chairperson, then we, if somebody is chairing the Partner and Access Committee, they should not be able to chair the committee and be vice chair.
Right.
Or you know what I'm saying? So we do have to be mindful of our bylaws.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let me speak to that. Let me speak to that real quick, because in the past and even now, for example, the recruiting thing is an activity and not a true committee. And we've had in the past we've had committee chairs that were also chair or vice chair. We've had a lot of that. That's been common policy for the commission, probably because there hasn't been that many people. But yeah, we'll keep.
I understand. I only bring it up is that if we're not going to follow the bylaws, maybe the bylaws need to be changed. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No.
That's all. I'm just trying to bring up a point of order.
No, absolutely. And no, I appreciate that, Kathleen. And Larry, I also appreciate both of your input as well. This is what I will do, guys. I will review the bylaws so that next meeting, I can be clear on that, and then I'll present, what it says in the bylaws, and then from there, if we do want to change the bylaws or update them, as Kathleen alluded to, we can. But yes, to my knowledge, our bylaws state again that, if somebody's a chair of a committee, that they also cannot, hold a seat like vice chairman and things like that. So now, Larry, you're saying that we did do that in the past.
Oh, it's been done quite often, yeah. And I'll have to review my bylaws too. I've got a Braille copy here.
Okay, no problem, guys.
Yeah,
But
in
we
the past
wanna
it has
make sure-
happened. Yeah.
We just want to make sure that we're, doing our due diligence, and that we're, following the process here. So.
Oh, no, I agree.
Yeah. So I appreciate both of that. And Larry and Kathleen, I'll have something on that for the chair report coming in January, so that we can be clear on that. Okay.
Sure.
Awesome.
Oh, I figured out what the deal is with the virtual meeting. In the law that was passed, it says that after January 1st, 2021, until the end of the year, there has to be either a state or local state of emergency declared in order to hold virtual meetings. Now, that could be the county, because I don't think there is a state one since the Supreme Court ruling or whatever 3 months ago, but that is just something to consider. If we end up not in a state of emergency, meetings would have to be in person, but I'd expect they would do something.
Right. I mean,
Particularly since the county can act if the state doesn't.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Good to know, Tim, and I appreciate that tidbit.
But that's what I was thinking of, and that's what I looked up to clarify.
Sure. No, I appreciate that. No, I mean, I think it's important. We all need to be doing things, the way that they are, supposed to be done in some ways. And of course, certain, initiatives and things like that are fine, but we want to make sure that as far as bylaws or as far as procedure for meetings and voting and different things, that we're doing this, correctly. So I appreciate all of that. Well, at this point, it's 5:25, almost 5.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, Zach.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
wanted to ask, does the committee want to vote on their 2021 calendar or wait until January's meeting to do that?
Yeah, has everyone had an opportunity to review the calendar, or should we wait until January to just look that over, and then if you have any conflicts, send those to Denise?
I would move we approve the calendar if everybody's looked at it.
Okay. All right.
I agree.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't have any problem with the calendar. So so you move to approve, Larry? Is there a second?
I do.
Okay. Is there a second to approve the calendar?
I'll second.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Kathleen seconds. All in favor of approving the 2021 meeting calendar, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 Great. So the 2021 calendar is approved, Denise. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zach.
No problem. All right. With that, again, it is almost 5:30. We're at 5:26. So I will adjourn this meeting and thank everyone for their contribution and for their time. Again, if there are any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or Denise, and Denise will bug me to make sure that I am on top of it and all that stuff. So I appreciate all of you so much. I hope that you guys continue to stay warm, and we will see you in January. Thank you,
Happy
everyone.
holidays.
Wonderful holiday season, everyone.
You too.